What's up everybody, Grillin' with Dad here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be smoking up a boneless pork loin and finishing it with a creamy mushroom sauce. It's going to be delicious. Let's get started. The star of our dish today is this beautiful boneless pork loin from Swift Meats. This thing is a beauty. It's very lean, very porky, takes well to smoke, and it's awesome with that cream sauce at the end. So let's get started. I also have some mushrooms. These we're going to use at the end for the cream sauce. Let me move these off to the side for now and get started on the pork loin. Let's start by taking the pork loin out of the packaging. Check this out. This thing is a beauty. We'll start by patting it dry a little bit, get that moisture off of it. Will just be a little bit easier to work with. Just take a paper towel, pat it dry, and look at that. And as far as the cook today, I'm only going to use about half of this, and we're going to save the other piece for later. I'm going to cut it right about here and cook with this piece right here. So just take your knife, cut it right down the middle, and this will be the piece that we're going to be working with today. As you can see, it's pretty well trimmed up on top. I am going to remove the silver skin on the bottom. This will just allow it to absorb a little bit more of that smoke. Just take your knife, cut gently under the silver skin, and then just trim it and remove it until you expose more of the meat. All right, so our pork loin is prepped, ready to go. Let's take our seasoning and season this guy up. I'm using my favorite pork rub to season it up. You can use really any seasoning you'd like. My only recommendation is to stay away from sweeter rubs since we're going to be finishing it off in that mushroom cream sauce, so a more savory rub will do much better here. And just make sure you get all the sides nicely coated. And that's all that is needed. Pork loin is seasoned. I'm gonna let this guy sit for about 20-30 minutes while I go fire up the grill. For the cook today, I'm using my large big green egg. I have it filled up with lump charcoal, a couple pieces of hickory wood to create some additional smoke for the pork. Then I'll start my fire right there in the middle, let this come up to temperature, and get that pork going. Big green egg is lit, got that fire going right in the middle. I'm gonna put in my plate setter, so this creates that indirect cooking zone or indirect setup on the big green egg. We'll put the grate on top, close the lid, and let this come up to temperature. I'm gonna get the egg up to between 225 and 250 degrees for this cook, which is my ideal cooking temp, smoking temp for cooking this pork loin. My pork loin has been sitting on the cutting board for about 25 minutes. As you can see, it's sweating out nicely. That rub is absorbing, and the big green egg is cruising at a good 225. So let's take our pork and put it right in the middle of the big green egg. Just like so. I did insert a temperature probe right in the thickest part of the pork loin so I can keep an eye on those internal temperatures, and I'm gonna pull it off right around 140 degrees, rest it, which is gonna bring it up to about 145, which is the ideal temperature for pork. While the pork is cooking, we're gonna get started on the mushroom sauce. So I've got some sliced white mushrooms, red onion, garlic, heavy cream, butter, chicken stock, salt and pepper. I'm gonna get all this going in my pan and make a tasty sauce to go on top of the pork loin. We're gonna start by adding some butter to our pan. We'll melt that butter, adding the diced red onion and garlic, and let this cook for a couple minutes. Let that onion soften up a bit. That garlic will get nice and fragrant. And then I'll add the mushrooms. Our onions are looking nice, smells unbelievable. That garlic is getting super fragrant too, so I'm gonna add my sliced mushrooms. Add another 2 tablespoons of butter. Now we'll wait for this butter to melt. Keep mixing this together and cook for a few minutes until the mushrooms soften up a bit as well. Our mushrooms have softened up nicely. This smells unbelievable. The mix of butter, garlic, onion, mushrooms. It is going to be delicious. Now I'm gonna add some chicken stock. And now we'll add some heavy cream. Mix it all. When you have all the ingredients together, we're also gonna add our seasoning now. So just a good pinch of kosher salt, some freshly cracked black pepper. Mix all this together, bring it up to a low simmer. and then reduce, let it thicken up, and the sauce will be ready. Sauce has thickened up nicely, so you can see when you drag your spoon across the pan, leaves that nice mark. So this is ready to go. Last thing I'm gonna do is just add a handful of fresh parsley, that nice pop of freshness, stir it all in, and our creamy mushroom sauce is ready. All right, my pork just hit 140. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, this looks and smells unbelievable. So I'm gonna remove the probe, pull my pork. I'm gonna rest it for about 10-15 minutes. It's gonna come up to about 145 and it's gonna be ready. All right, our pork loin is off the grill. It has rested a good 15 minutes. My mushroom sauce is ready. So let's slice this guy up and see how it turned out. So as you can see, it looks unbelievable, super juicy just from resting on that cutting board for 15 minutes. So during that rest time, that internal temperature rose up to a 145, which is the perfect temperature for pork. Ends up being super tender, very juicy, and not dry. So let's slice it up and see what we've got. So let me just cut right here at the very end. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. Let's make a couple slices and then we'll put our sauce right on top. Oh, this pork is amazing. You make a couple more. So let me show you here in this one. It is absolutely juicy, fully cooked through, smells unbelievable. You can even see a nice slight smoke ring. So let me line these guys out. Okay, let me take my mushroom sauce. As you can see, this looks great. Let's take a nice little spoonful of it and just put it right on top of your pork. The mushrooms are gonna pair so nice with this pork loin. Should be delicious. So there it is. Let's take a nice little bite, see how it turned out. Cut this piece in half. There you go, got a little bit of the mushroom, onion, juicy pork. Let's see how it turned out. It is delicious. You get that slight hint of smokiness from the pork loin, the savory earthiness of the mushrooms, the creamy sauce. It is delicious. Let me take one more, just to make sure. Oh yeah, super good. So to recap, we smoked that boneless pork loin from Swift Meats, took it up to 140 degrees internal, rested it a good 10-15 minutes. Then I made a creamy mushroom sauce using mushrooms, chicken stock, onions, garlic, topped it all on top. And we have a delicious pork dish. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much guys for watching. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, let me know down in the comments what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.